What's good?
Hey.
Hi, Poppy. Hey.
Just adorable. Is she holding the mic?
Yeah, the little
We can't hear you, Drew.
is muted.
Hello?
Yeah, can hear you
There
now.
we go. Say she's holding like the little sound guard.
Aw.
Say hi. Say brrr, brrr. You see them? Say there, it's like I'm recording.
No, it really is.
Say brrr. Say brrr. You're not gonna say anything?
Said, ma.
Ma. Not happening,
Nope.
boys. Say rar. Alright, we tried.
Nah, she said
Now
it's a
things are
toy
gonna get
here.
destroyed here.
Yeah, it's a toy here.
I love you. Well, we tried.
That was adorable.
How's it going, boys?
What's going
Pretty
on?
good. Dry, did you relocate? I feel like I never seen
No,
that.
this is a
Oh,
what's that
one
shit?
of the screens you can put
yeah,
behind
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Fire.
Alright.
I didn't
Alright, we're
even know
good.
you could do it, so I was just before sitting
Oh,
in
I
the
like the
lobby, just
backdrop.
fucking with shit.
I didn't know
yeah.
you could either until you did it. I thought you moved somewhere else to your house. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Where are you
It's
at?
nice.
No, it's like a backdrop.
Oh,
Like a screen.
jeez. Ah.
Yeah.
I see.
That's what I'm saying. I had no clue.
How do you do that?
You got to do it before you get in the it starts recording.
Cool
Gosh.
kids only, Drew.
Yeah, right.
Cool kids only. Well, it's been a while, man, since we recorded on a Sunday. How y'all
Isn't it
feeling?
nice?
How y'all feeling today?
Alive. Good.
I had a fun fact that I didn't say last time that I have that I think both of you guys and some of our listeners will appreciate. The last time a team replaced both of their coordinators and a Pro Bowl center retired in the offseason, but then that same team went on to go win a Super Bowl was who?
Ravens?
Eagles.
Which Eagles, Rod?
Ooh.
The Eagles that just won.
The Nick
Damn
Foles.
right.
Nick
Damn right.
Foles
That man, when they go to trivia, that man knows his trivia. That man knows his trivia. 2024 Philadelphia Eagles. So, for all the people out there that may be worried about the Lions, feel like they lost their coordinators, their regression is inevitable, may not be the case because literally the last Super Bowl champions did the same thing. So, it's possible.
I thought you were going to share the news about Lil Wayne's album sales and how it pissed you off.
Oh, no, that was seeing like Gerard said, the second week will show the real story. Mm-hmm. I think he sold 25,000 week
Shoosh.
number 2.
Jeez.
God damn.
So that made me feel
drop,
better.
yeah.
Like I'm sorry, that made
That's
me
a
feel
drop.
better. People, like Gerard said, the truth will reveal itself. People aren't rewarding terrible music. Speaking of, shout out to Lil Tecca. I guess I'll just get to Ditchy Nose. Lil Tecca sold 51,000 with his new album Dopamine. Like I said, Lil Wayne sold 25. G and Next, I'm pretty sure it was number 2, and Some Sexy Songs for You was number 3. So I was still surprised to see those are 2 of the 3 highest tracking albums still. Like, just goes to show it's kind of been a slow year.
I've seen GNX every single store I go to on vinyl. It's kind of dope.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had a vinyl for that. Makes sense, though.
Yeah,
That
they
and
were
Taylor
selling
Swift is everywhere.
they were selling the vinyls before the tour started, and I bought the CD, so I have the CD.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
With a CD, what can you play that on currently, Gerard? I'm trying to think if I had a CD, I don't know what I could actually play it
Oh,
on.
I have a CD player, so
Your Xbox, B?
you can play it on your
Would
Xbox.
it work on the Xbox?
Yeah.
That's cool to know. I remember the old Xbox, the original Xbox, you could upload a whole CD or basically like burn it onto your Xbox and listen to it. But I was literally thinking the other day, we talked about like having physical stuff, like if I had a DVD player or a DVD, like if I could play it, or a CD if I could play it. So yeah, I think the Xbox is the only thing I would have to be able to do.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm considering getting a PS5 is because I want to use it as like for physical stuff, like for CDs and DVDs and stuff like that, instead of buying
They
like
say they were making that like a specific compatibility,
No,
or like they just always
just as long as it has the disk drive.
yeah,
you're
as
good
long as
to
it has
go.
a disk
Okay.
drive.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, I could also do that with the Series X Xbox, but that's the only reason I was really considering getting another system is for that, because we got to start. We just bombed
That's
on
crazy.
Iran, so got to get your physical stuff in order. 'Cause,
No, that's fact. No, that's fact. Bro, it's so crazy. Like, Gerard, I saw your post that said millennials adding another world event. Like,
yeah, we ain't gonna get no rest. Like no rest.
oh man. 7 years ago, the Carters released "Everything Is Love."
Oh, wow.
I can't believe it's been 7 years, but underrated project in my opinion.
Hey man, listen, the greatest 3-album run of all time between married couples, because you got Lemonade, you got 444, and then Everything Is Love. See, y'all ain't even consider that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Never.
open up your mind. You gotta open up your mind,
Like, I
Kings.
really- you thriving
Open
right
up
now.
your
Lead us,
mind,
right?
Kings. Yeah.
Lead us right now. You like Pascal Siakam. You just lead us. Like, I'm on your back. On your back. NBA YoungBoy announced his new album is dropping on July 4th. Either of you excited about?
It's been a while since he dropped 17.
I mean, I was gonna
projects in a
say
year.
it used to be like every
Yeah.
other week we was announcing something, so it's been a nice change of pace. But
Maybe
I
I'll
mean,
check it out.
I'm not necessarily looking forward to it, but I know the youth. I look forward to it for them because I know they rock with him heavy. So, the clips dropped "So Be It" and uploaded the full video directly to X before the song even hit streaming. Sorry. Sabrina Carpenter released "Man Child" on digital streaming platforms, then pointed fans to YouTube. And our boy Brian tweeted out how two rollouts, two very different rules of engagement, but he had a thread of kind of explaining the differences. So I thought our listeners might appreciate checking that out if they wanted to.
Yep.
Tubi picked up Zero Star, the Cam Ward story, a 6-part docu-series about this year's NFL draft #1 pick. Thought that was unique because I feel like I've never seen anything
Yeah.
that level being announced for Tubi, so I thought that was great for that platform. John Bernthal will return as the Punisher in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I just saw that the other day, thought that was pretty dope.
That's gonna be lit.
I know, seriously, I know Spider-Man isn't for kids, but I always look at the Tom Holland Spider-Mans as like,
Kiddish.
kind of more
Yeah.
kid-friendly. But then when you think of the Punisher, you like, wait, this gonna be the Punisher. There ain't nothing kid-friendly about the Punisher. So I actually look forward to seeing how they make that work because that could get crazy. Ryan Coogler's Sinners will release on Max on July 4th.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that because that'll be actually the first time I'll probably watch
I was
it.
looking in stores to buy it the other day, so I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah,
I
they
know you
dropped
could
the ball on
release
that. They should have released that on Juneteenth. Like
Ooh,
Max would
that
have went
would've
up
been
in
dope.
flames,
Low-key,
boy.
Yeah, low-key. Because I mean, them sitting on it for that, what was it, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
No, 3 weeks maybe. Like it's not like they're gonna add anything in between that
Right.
time. So, damn, that would have been fire. And then so Shohei Ohtani took the mound last Monday for the first time since 2023, and at that time the ticket prices soared on average of 71%, up $192
Jeez.
on TickPicks. Also sold 4 times as many tickets to the game since the announcement. So just wanted to say the Ohtani effect was real. Additionally, making his first pitching start of 2025, he entered the day as the 3rd most plate appearances in the MLB. So no player in modern era has previously entered the day of their first pitching start of a season ranked higher than 6 in plate appearances, and that was Alvin Dark, who was 6 back in 1953. So
I
again, I
don't
know
know
we've
what the
talked
hell
about
that is.
Ohtani. I love me my fun facts when it comes to sports, but we've never seen anything like this, and we probably never will see anything like this. Like, people forget he was so good with hitting and even like started to steal bases last year. at a historic rate, but like also at the same time can be one of the best pitchers in the game. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, no, it is. And his wife is like an excellent basketball. Like those kids are destined. Man, jealousy. And then according to Shams, the late Jerry Buss purchased the Los Angeles Lakers for $67.5 million back in 1979. 46 years later, the Buss family is entering an agreement to sell the franchise for a historic valuation of approximately $10 billion.
Jeez.
$10 billion, that is, including the Buss family retaining over 15% of minority ownership. Per The Athletic, the Los Angeles Lakers will be sold to Mark Walter, lead owner of the Dodgers. The sale price is the largest for a North American sports franchise. So, $10 billion. Y'all get $10 billion in y'all bank account. What's the first thing you're doing? Just off top of the dome. Don't think too hard. First thing you're doing. Personally, I'm booking a trip, one-way trip to somewhere and just figuring out the rest. But y'all will see me feet up or feet in the sand somewhere beautiful, somewhere outside the United States while I figure everything out. Cause
I say we're going out for the day, if that's the case. We're going car shopping. We're going.
So car shopping is your first move?
I mean, just everything. Maybe go look at some houses or something, some land.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's so real. Like, no, I'm booking my trip and then I'm figuring out like, damn, what's next? For $10 billion, I can't. Like when these athletes sign the extensions and you see like the guarantee money, that's the first thing I think of. Not like pocket
like
watching,
what you do
like,
with your money.
like, wait, $62 million guarantee. So like, you wake up one morning and it's $62 million in your bank account. Like, what would be the very
I don't know
first
because I'll still be in shock. Like I'll be
honestly.
reloading my bank's thing just to see the numbers, just to see if the money is all there. Like, oh my god,
Bro.
like, yeah,
I'm trying to like, what's the very first? I'm pretty sure that's what I'm just booking a trip, one way, first class somewhere, like an all inclusive somewhere beautiful. And
Go take that space trip. Go to space for 15 seconds.
You know, they can have that. I want to be somewhere where I don't have to worry too much.
You want to be on solid land?
Yeah, man, put me on solid ground. Nah, I'm getting $10 billion. I ain't trying to risk my life at that level. I'm trying to enjoy it. But yeah, so those were the did you know that you have anything you want to add, Drew or Gerard?
I think I'm good.
no.
Okay. Well, let's get into what we listened to, watched, and/or played. Honestly, fellas, I've only listened to one full project since we last recorded. I think it's a surprise for both of you, but I know you guys have listened to a lot. So, do you guys want to get into what you've listened to first, or do y'all want to know what it is I listened to?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. So I listened to Live and in Color, which was an album with Juicy J and Logic.
Yeah, I started it.
What you think? Let's get into the intro track. When you listened to the intro track, was that what you were expecting at all?
No, it was tough to get into. I'm not gonna lie, because it what's it, like a 6-minute song or something, and then halfway through they just break down. It's an interview of Logic and Juicy J. I'm like,
Yeah, so
that
that's
just
the
lost
thing.
all steam for me.
The song starts off fire.
Yeah,
it's
it does.
Like, damn, this is like a really nice. I think it was more effort than I expected both of them to put into it. Like you said, it did break into an interview. It wasn't necessarily a bad interview, but you know, intro track, like here we are, just literally like dry, like it's like a legit interview mid song, like, but they be talking about real shit. So Drew, I listened to the full thing. I will say that Juicy J, I think it's a project where Juicy J gets to, I guess, get some of the credit by another artist to kind of, like, Juicy J's been around so long, but I feel like it's kind of not necessarily taken for granted. But like we always talk about how Snoop been in the game, been around X, Y, and Z. Like Juicy J kind of is on that same level to a certain extent. But you hear him talk about like his biggest, I guess, motivation is his kids, right? Like. So, like, hearing Juicy J, who's always saying shit like, shut the fuck up, and like, wow. Like, you get to hear, like, real introspective shit, like, talking about his faith, like, him and his brother, like, how it's always been something that's led to their success. So, I appreciated being able to hear that on top of Logic produced the track, and it actually came about because Logic tweeted out like he wanted to produce somebody's album, and Juicy J hit him up, and he thought like he would recommend somebody, but Juicy J is like, no, like I actually like I want to work with you. So I mean, Logic was a better producer than I expected. Like we talked about Wayne, or we talked about the terrible production quality of Wayne's album. Like I love seeing some of the sonic sounds that you hear. Like you hear some sounds that you don't expect an artist like Juicy J to rap on. So I know it's kind of long-winded. I'm not gonna recommend it and say everybody will love it, but I will say like it's got good music on it, but it's also different. Like there's a couple interviews on there. There's a couple moments where Juicy J is talking about the loss to his mom recently. So like, I don't know, it's deeper than what you would expect, but at the same time, it's some fun on there too. But if you're listening to the intro and he breaks into an interview and you're like, nah, this ain't for me, I completely understand.
I saw that. Well, I heard the first track, then I looked at the track list and I saw that there's discussion 1 through 8. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, is that what we're going to get into in this album?
Yeah, so like those so some discussions could be like 20 seconds on a song before like getting into like a banger. But what's also funny is you know how we talk about separating the artist from the person? Like, we always talk about that usually when it comes to like terrible stuff, right? Like allegations. Some people just are weird as fuck or awkward as fuck, and like you wouldn't like them in real life. That's Logic, bro. Like somehow, some way. And as soon as it happened, I started laughing because I'm like, I can't wait to tell Gerard and Drew about this. But motherfucker, one of the discussions, Drew, is him asking Juicy J, so what did you think to find out that I actually was black? Like,
oh my God,
bro,
live and in color. Now it makes sense.
He's like, I always, I say, but he mentioned, he's like, you got Drake and you got J. Cole, and like they're both biracial, but like you can tell they still look black. He's like, honestly, I feel like I'm the only person in the game that like you can't tell it all. He's like, but I'm still gonna say nigga, and like I don't care. He's like, what did you think to find out that I was actually black despite not looking black, right? Juicy, and it's funny because Juicy J, you can hear him like and again he's talking like in a serious level. He's like, well, I mean, I knew already because you told me. He's like,
what a stupid question.
He's like, so I mean, once you publicly announced it, he's like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard you saying nigga, I'm like, oh okay, but like you told me, so like I wasn't a shot because you had already told me. Logic was looking for like some like I was really like, kind of blown away. I never knew that you had a black. But Juicy J was like, no, I already knew, bro. So
yeah, you had a whole
just
album
the fact
about
that
it.
Logic, like, how he can find a way, no matter what he does, no matter what project. It's like, bro, how did I know you was gonna find a way to talk about this goofy shit yet again? So
it's like, does he struggle with it that bad where it's constantly on his mind? Like, come on,
he has
at
to.
some point. Like,
he absolutely has to because nobody cares. I don't know why
we joke about it.
Not at this point.
He had an interview with that Bobby, whatever I can't think of her name, but like
I'll talk.
He kind of talked. He talked about some. I just saw a clip, but he talks about basically like how he can be in a dark place and considers not being here anymore, but like feels like he couldn't do such a thing because of the song he made and like encouraging people to do better with their mental health. And feels like if he ever was to, he would get trolled because of his song. And it's like, bro, I really don't think people are thinking about you on that level to where,
hell no.
Like, I don't understand why it's such a problem because I'm pretty sure Logic doesn't get inconvenienced by having the black experience whatsoever. Like,
no.
He tries to, like, yeah, I'm part of the struggle too. It's like, bro, like, exactly what you're saying, the fact that nobody knows you're black at all, we know, like, you definitely had a tough childhood, but at the same time, like, as a grown person that appears to be a white man, you're not really experiencing the stuff that should make you keep talking about this in every album. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
He'll
but
tell you differently, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's one of those people where most likely isn't the most likable, and he's probably like, damn, this is because I'm mixed. And it's like, nah, motherfucker, you're just not a likable person. Like, you don't have to explore that hard, I promise you.
Hey, y'all, give it to me straight. It's because I'm black, right?
Like, and they be like, wait, You black?
Well, now it's funny you're saying that because it's like 10 years later after all this shit. It's like, hey, Juicy, did you know I'm black? Like,
bro, like, why are you still talking? What, like you said, Drew, clearly got a chokehold on him, and I hate that because as a producer, I want to give him props, and I want to be able to say, hey, y'all, like, y'all really should check this out. But as soon as people hear Logic, you can assume you're going to hear something like what I just said, and you're always going to be right. And if you find that shit annoying, you're not going to want to check out this project but it's really good. So
I think I'm going to listen to it. But I'm curious now. I was thinking, I was like, have we heard a project like this? And I'm like, yeah, Wiz did it with like that Taylor Allardyce album where he broke it down into like interviews. But that actually, that sounded dope though when he did it.
Yeah, that was fire.
I would say it's very similar to that. Like I said, you're going to hear Juicy J rap at a flow you probably haven't heard him rap. Like, he really challenges himself as an artist.
Is Logic rapping on it at all, or is it all Juicy just raps?
Logic does rap, but it's not like you know how you see both names on a project. You like, back and forth. It's not like that. It's like more so kind of like The Alchemist, like does production.
Yeah.
It's like Logic produced the album, but he does hop on a few tracks. But then it's the interview portion mostly. So,
gotcha.
It's interesting. But that's really the only project I've listened to in full. I listened to the Offset song you sent over, Gerard. Initially, I'm not gonna lie to you, I felt a way about it, not because of the song, but because I felt like that's literally what Quavo did with I want to get away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, what is this like? Y'all not beefing no more, but at the same time, like, y'all got like this rivalry ever since y'all not like in a group no more. So that's initially what my thought process was, but I'm not gonna lie. Jid's feature was so tough to the point where I'm like, I really can't wait to hear that Jid album. And then when you listen to the song more, you're like, oh, I actually do respect Offset's verse, because like there's a part where he's rapping fast, damn near for like at least 40 seconds, I want to say. Like he was talking to shit. So it's a good song. My hesitancy, I wanted to bring that up, like Quavo and why can I not think of his name? I want to
Lenny Kravitz?
Lenny Kravitz.
Quavo and Lenny Kravitz. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I just feels like it's still something weird there between Quavo and Offset.
Yeah, it probably is. I enjoyed the song, and you know, Jid got his just due because like everybody's talking about his verse, and his verse was amazing. But I did think that Offset had a really good verse too, so I enjoyed the whole song. And I enjoyed the sample because, like, I like the song that they sampled. You know, let the bodies hit the floor too.
Yeah.
So like that shit was fire. You know, and we'll see what happens with both Offset's album and Jid's album. So yeah.
Does Offset have an album about to release soon?
Yeah, he said as he does. Well, I don't know when. And you know what was also interesting is that Cardi released a single the same day.
I saw
that. Her outside single,
right?
Yeah, her outside
I haven't
single.
heard it yet.
And so
Justin sent it to me. I was like, well, where's the album? Where is the album at this point?
Hey, I'm just glad that Cardi making music. If that's what, like, if his features, I'm just because I can definitely see a point where she just like, yeah, the music shit, I don't need it no more. So
think about the last 6-7 years though with her, all the music she's released. If she just put that on an album, she has another banger on her hands.
Exactly.
Like, come on now.
Exactly.
And every time you hear Cardi's on or featured on a hot song, you like, oh, let me see what she did with it, and like
kills it.
Kills it every time. So I need the Cardi album, but I'll just take music at this point.
Yeah, and I've seen people on social media saying that outside, like, yeah, we've come to expect a good song from Cardi every summer and stuff, but we still don't get an album. So people are starting to get a little like restless with just the singles, and they just like, are we getting an album? Like, what we doing? Like, you always on the blogs and stuff like that, but we ain't getting no music from you. We ain't getting nothing. We just getting drama. So I think people have mixed feelings about getting that single and not getting nothing else from her. So I just hope she does release an album, but I'm not holding my breath. You know.
Yeah. No, it reminds me of kind of like Rihanna, how like she's like,
oh, you're not getting no album from her.
ASAP too.
Yeah.
You ain't getting no album from him either. So like,
no further questions.
I see. So ASAP.
Nothing else after
ASAP, he got a campaign going on because he's the creative director, I think, of Ray-Ban.
Oh yeah, yep.
And so he keep releasing these like short films of him like being the creative director, like him walking through Harlem. You know what I'm saying? And they put up a like a pop-up store and stuff like that, which is super dope. I'm not.
It is.
Yeah, it's fire. It's super dope. But every time I see the video, because I follow Rocky, and I'm thinking like, oh shit, he about to say something about the album. And no, it's some clothes. It's some fashion shit. I'm like, damn, man.
No, But the crazy part is, whenever it does release, if it ever does, like I'm gonna be as hype as ever.
Yeah,
but, like,
I'm gonna be right there. Yeah.
Until then,
I just go back and listen to like Always Strive and Prosper and Long Live ASAP. Like
at long last, Allah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at long last. Yeah. I'm sorry. The acronyms is Allah, but it's at long last ASAP. Yeah. Listen, my cousin and I back in the day, you know Mike B. Androd knows him. But back in the day, we were. I just remember this one time we were in the car, we were trying to remember all of his album names, and we just kept mixing all the acronyms up together. It's like at long ASAP last, that live long ASAP love. I was like, dude, it's just make a goddamn album at this point.
Yeah,
like, that's all we want.
So.
Have you guys ever heard the last album he made, Testing?
Yeah, I actually think I don't know if I finished it, but I know I started because I did like the song. With the whistle, fuck, I can't think of the name of it.
I was gonna say that album was a mess. Like, and I get he was trying to try new things on it and testing pretty much, but that album was just all over the place. I could not get into it.
No, I do think I listened to that, but I was trying to say "Praise the Lord" was a song I was thinking of.
Yep.
It was with Skepta too.
Okay. Yeah. The one we like the most on this album is Tony Tone. That was my favorite track on it. But all in all, it was just kind of... I don't even remember half these songs on it. Purity with Frank Ocean was good. That was the last track on it. But
that was the only song I really liked.
Decent one, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get in my interview bag real quick. How would you guys explain the ASAP era, not just with ASAP Rocky, but the whole group? Thinking of how we basically seen it come and go. How would y'all explain that era, you know, for any casual out there that wasn't a part of that time in hip-hop? But looking back at to see, like, you got ASAP Ferg, you got ASAP Rocky, you got ASAP 12, you got this group, I mean, that did so much looking back at it now. Like, how would y'all perfectly describe that era to a casual fan that's wondering and never got to observe that time in hip-hop?
So I was around them in that era. So when I was like traveling back and forth to New York, and like to be down there in that Soho, that Harlem area, because we all the same age. So like be around there and see those kids around there. It was a great time at the tail end of the diss set era to like a great era of expression. Like so these kids grew up in New York City, probably was out in the streets, but they were like experimenting with different sounds. So ASAP was the first kid I heard from New York City with like the swagger of like a Harlem Diplomat, but using Chopped and Screwed from Houston, you know what I'm saying, and talking about his life experiences. So like I just thought that was super dope, and I never heard a sound like that before.
And his flow was dope.
Yeah, and so like that was pretty much the merger of, I would say ASAP like implemented the merger of using different sounds from different regions, because when we grew up, everything was regional music. So if you knew when a dude was from the Midwest, whether he was St. Louis, whether it was Chicago, whether it was Detroit, you knew a dude was from the South, you knew a dude was from the West or from the East. When ASAP made them like, and you hear it on SoundCloud or you saw it on YouTube or whatever, shit, early the end of MySpace, you didn't know where he was from. Like you just heard the music and you just vibe with the music. And so once you see them and then you see their videos, or if you was in that New York area at the time and you see them dudes running the streets, you was like, oh damn, like, and it captivated you. Like you wanted to know more about them and stuff. So I just thought it was like a cool time for kids to just start like experimenting and showing expressionism through their music and stuff like that. I think he was the one of the early ones in that blog era to push through. So that's how I felt about him when I was listening.
Hey, it's very well said, honestly, about all that and like bringing new sounds in. But sadly for me now, looking back on it, like B said, it was a flash in the pan to me. And as far as life goes, like, I was so invested at the time in all their music. Like Gerard said, everything they came out was fire. They'd be in ciphers, just each of them ripping 2-minute ciphers each, just killing it. But at the same time, you were promised a lot of things back then.
Right,
you thought they'd be around forever. You thought ASAP Nast was next up. You thought 12 was next up, and they didn't really get the shine besides Ferg and in Rocky. But like, looking back at it now, I was like, damn, it was so short lived, and look how great Odd Future turned out. You know.
Well, you know, and what's his name died. So
Yams,
Yams died.
Yeah, and he was the leader of everybody.
That is what fucked everything up, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So, like, say, liken it to, like, if it was Rockefeller era and you got Jay, you got Dame, and you got Biggs, and say Dame died. Yeah. Then, you know, where do you go from there? You still might get Jay to do whatever he do, but anything else, Rockefeller or you Benny Siegel and all of them, you might not see them. You know, so that's what Yams was to ASAP. And so, like, we all see Rocky as the front man, but Yams was the one that created all that shit. You know, so it was after he died, I think that's where we really saw it crash and burn, because we didn't get, you know, like you said, Nas. We didn't get 12, you know, and we did get Ferg and Rocky, you know, but Ferg already, he's Harlem, like his father was already a big deal in Harlem, so he was going to be fine regardless. Like, Ferg was going to be successful no matter what he did, and Rocky is a hustler, so Rocky always figures it out for himself too. But the other dudes that was at ASAP, they needed Yams, and you know, that's the tough part about that instance.
Well, I appreciate both of you answering that. As somebody that kind of came in towards the, I guess, tail end or middle, closer to the end of that time, just always thought, like, damn, what was it like, you know, to in the thick of things or during their prime, like, knowing how popular they were once upon a time, knowing how, I guess, how much unity they had as a group. Just being curious, like, how y'all would describe that for anybody out there that wasn't a part of that time in hip hop. Yeah. So what else have you guys listened to since we last recorded? I'm curious.
So I listened to 3 albums. I listened to the ESTG album, which is fire. Shout out to him. I listened to Davies and Young Chris had an album together called Fine Dining. That was dope. And then I also listened to the Slick Rick album. So,
nice.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with Slick Rick. So here's the thing. Shout out to Nas. Shout out to Idris Elba. Slick Rick is a hip hop legend. You know what I'm saying? And I think they did a great job of curating this album. I just think that this album is not for, it's for those hip hop listeners that's, you know, in the golden age right now. So, you know, those who grew up listening to hip hop from the 80s and up, they will appreciate this album, because I feel like Slick Rick still has a great storytelling. Still lyrically, he's really good. His voice sounds good. He sounds like healthy. They got good beats on there and stuff like that. But if we listen to it, that Slick Rick wasn't from our era, so we won't appreciate it as much. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It means that it's not, we're unfamiliar. So, like, I appreciate that, because it was well crafted. They did do a great job marketing and pushing it and stuff like that. He hasn't released the album since, I think they said 98, 99 or something like that. So coming back like 26 years later and releasing an album, and he still sounds good. He still sounds healthy. Like, it's a great album for those fans that are fans of Slick Rick, because he's influenced a lot of people. So I think it was a dope album, and shout out to Nas and Idris for getting him to rap again, because that's the big thing in itself. So I enjoyed that, and I appreciated what he did. Like, so as far as like is it something that I would return to over and over again? Probably not, because I'm not a Slick Rick, like, I didn't grow up with him, so it's not something that I'm probably gonna listen to more and more. But that doesn't mean, like I said, I'm not gonna be disrespectful and say it was bad. It is pretty good for him, you know what I'm saying? So it's a good album. And if you ask any like OGs that listen to the album, they'll tell you the same thing. So then next up, the ESTG album. This is the album we was waiting for. This is the album that we wanted from him. listen, I'm confused. I don't know who's on his team and telling him like how to put his albums together. But you know, like all of these albums is throwaways from his albums before, and it tells you like when he recorded it and stuff like that, and which version and stuff.
That's what.
And then like you put it on here, like you could even some of like you could hear the voice that he was younger and stuff when he recorded it. But they took all these old songs and they like sequence them the right way. This shit fire as fuck. I ain't gonna hold you. Like it's a really good album, and like I don't understand, but it's good as hell. Like so, it's a good. I honestly
wish they didn't put the dates on it. You would never know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Maybe one of the last ones, but yeah, even like the one with Yo Gotti at first, I was like, damn, this sounds like it just came out today or something.
Yeah. Like and then it's funny. It's a Pablo Final Gotti version.
Yeah,
it's just like dog. Yeah, I don't know what they doing over there, but yeah, it's a really good album. So if you're a fan of ESTG and what he did before, you're gonna love this album because it's really fucking good. So
it brought me back.
Yeah. And then lastly, Fine Dining with Davies and Young Chris. Like
real quick drop. Was there anything on the ESTG album that you hadn't heard before? Like
all of it, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So you've heard every song on there you've heard before?
No,
we haven't.
You haven't. They're unreleased. They were just recorded during the times of when he was making other albums.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Good song shit. Like I guess got on the cutting room floor and they just took those songs and put them in an album together. So like he didn't really have to go back and record new shit. Yeah.
But
they're all fire. Yeah. Like they're all fire. So
I didn't know if it was like when an artist like releases what is that? Like extra songs kinda. With the
bonus.
Like,
no.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was like one of those or like tracks that we have heard but maybe cleaned up or remixes. So
they probably were mixed. They probably were like he recorded them and then like came back later and mixed it or added a verse here and there. But it was like how people say new to y'all, old to me. That's what this is. Yeah.
No, I'm excited now because I thought it would be some stuff on there I've heard before and it's nothing on there. That's fire.
Well, why I didn't like the last album of his is because I like all the beats sounded the same and all the drum patterns, but I was like, if he added even 3 or 4 of these tracks, that last album would have sounded completely different because there's so much energy behind these tracks on it. Like, it's the ESTG we love. Like, play it in the whip, windows down, turn it up as loud as you can, Just good music.
I look forward to listening to it.
And then Davies and Young Chris, it's a short listen, 23 minutes, 22 minutes, 8 tracks. It sounded good hearing Young Chris. Yeah, it sounded good hearing him because he sounds really good, and
he's stealing the show on most of the album,
bro.
Honestly.
Yeah, he's elite, and I don't know what happened in his career, like to where he wasn't able to get to the place where he was supposed to be. But if you see him rapping next to people like Davies and stuff like that, with the flow he got and his lyricism, like he sounds really good. They got a track on here with Ransom, and Ransom is really good, but Chris was the best rapper on that song. Like, so, like it was good to hear from him, and hopefully it gets him to put out more stuff or whatever he was going through. Like he get out the way. So, but that's all I listen to.
What's up, bro? Thank you for sharing, Drew.
I listened to those two, the ESTG, Young Chris and Davies. And then I listened to, I'm trying to find it, it wasn't that. It's an old Boldy album I listened to. It's called Fair Exchange, No Robbery. And it's Boldy James and Nicholas Craven, the same guy who did that other album after he got into his accident. And very good album. It's 10 tracks, Boldy's being Boldy, but I feel like at times on some of these albums he switches it up just enough to where it keeps your attention. And I feel like he's trying that more and more as he gets a little more comfortable with like some of these shorter albums. But then I went back and listened to Across the Tracks again with Conductor, and god damn, is that a good project. And honestly, I told you guys in the chat, but I'll say it on the pod now, I think Conductor Williams is the best producer out right now, and his beats are just flawless. Like, he has so much craft and so much like such a good ear for sound and like what a track should sound like, and just he can make anybody sound good at this point. So he had this with Boldy, and then he had that one earlier this year with Rome Streets, and flawless production throughout. So I'm going to stamp it and say he's the best producer out right now. And then I went back and listened to an old Action Bronson album with The Alchemist. What the hell's the name of this one? It is called Lamb Over Rice from 2019. And why I listened to it is because Malcolm all the time says this line from it. It kills me when he says it. He's like, my grandparents learned English watching Martin. And sure enough, first track, Bronson's on it. Alchemist chops up the Godfather beat for the movie. Just only Alchemist could chop that up and make it sound amazing. But sure enough, at the end of the song, my grandparents learned English watching Martin. He says it like 4 times. It's just a nice little EP from Bronson. So that's all I've listened to this week.
Oh my god!
Give you guys a good laugh on the pod.
Might have to check that out. I've watched quite a bit. I actually watched the first episode of Love Island. Yeah, y'all been watching that, right?
I watched Love Island. What?
Gerard, I have to say,
in.
Again, I only watched the first episode, but I do love Numa, I think her name is.
What Love Island are you watching?
Wait, hold on. I know it's 4 letters. I just butchered that.
You watching season 1, episode 1?
Hudda, yeah, sorry. Numa is a tool I use at work, sorry. 4 letters. Hudda is fine as hell.
You need to keep watching.
Keep watching good or keep watching bad?
You just need to keep watching. Hudda is your type. I know your type, so Hudda is your type, but you got to keep watching.
Oh, boy. I think I'm just going to leave it at that, because I don't need that. Bro, that I will say, I'm going to sound super old school, but, bro, to know, like, the way they chose who they were going to start off with was, like, going up and kissing. You had 2 kisses you could give to somebody, so the dude would be so it would be like a couple basically already locked in, and you can still go and kiss that person. Like, so it's just that other person sitting there looking awkward while the person that they about to try to build something with is just tonguing down. Like, I'm like, bro, like a part of this is nasty as hell. Like, but I know I sound old as fuck. But then they was all saying their age. It was like, yeah, I'm looking for love, but you know, I'm 22. I really just want to settle down. Wait, 22? Nah. So I'm like, damn, bro. Like, this was one of them moments again. I'm like, dog, we old as fuck. Like, you hear 22 old. You hear 22, it's like, bro, live your life, please. You talking about you want to settle down, but no, it was entertaining. I don't know why them shows be stressful as fuck, dog, but it's definitely entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
What else have I watched? I watched Fat Joe and Jadakiss both describing the first time they met Pac. Shady McCoy was on the Get Got podcast with Marshawn Lynch and Mike Robinson. Shout out to Shady McCoy, man. He's restoring buildings in his hometown. And then realized that the meals he was providing, which you will see a lot of athletes do, but that can only do so much, right? You may cover a meal or like for that day, but being recognized actually by a kid that was saying he was living in the buildings that Shady McCoy was building up, but like he didn't realize he was actually talking to the Shady McCoy. So he realized at that point, like, damn, like people don't recognize me as a football player anymore. He's like, people recognize me for what I'm doing with my real estate and like building a community. So I'm like, damn, bro, I'm sure as an athlete, it's amazing to be, you know, loved for what you can do on the football field. But as we grow up and as our values change, and you're like, damn, bro, like what really matters, like it's stories like that. So he talked about how he was impacted again by just seeing how you can help the community and have an impact well beyond anything his meals originally was doing. So thought that was cool. And then randomly came across highlights of Jabari Parker back in 2016-17 season. So I realized I didn't watch much of Jabari Parker in college, right? I would see him here and there on clips in the NBA, but I never really truly knew like the player he was.
He was always hurt.
He was always hurt, right? So like, if you go back and watch him before any of the injuries, dude,
he was a dog. Yeah,
I don't know how else to put like watching him and then realizing they had at one time him and Giannis, a young early Giannis, and it's like, bro, if Jabari could have stayed healthy and seeing what him and Giannis could have developed. Oh, don't get me wrong, Chris Middleton was great. They got a championship eventually, but bro, like,
Jason Kidd saw that, and I think he was trying to figure out a way to have Giannis and Jabari on the court at the same time, because, like Drew said, Jabari was always hurt, so which made it for Giannis to turn into the world time power forward he is now.
Yeah.
But had he not, I don't know how that would have turned out for Giannis, because he turned him into a point guard to get the ball in his hands so they can be on the court at the same time.
I remember point guard Giannis early into the career, and there was rumors this offseason when the Knicks reached out to Dallas to try to interview Jason Kidd whether or not they would look to acquire Giannis and try to do a reunion. But that made me remember again, before we see the Giannis we see today, he was a skinny kid that was 6'9", that could get from one side of the court to the other in 3 steps. Yeah. But he was being, at one point groomed to be a point guard by the point guard, or one of the point guard legends himself, and Jason Kidd. So, but no, like watching his highlights, it's almost like you gave Zion some handles, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, Zion can dribble, but he ain't gonna hit you with that wick. Like, Jabari Parker could dribble like a guard, like a literally guard, but he had that frame and like had that bully ball, almost like a Carmelo.
I was about to say he reminded me of Melo. Yeah,
bro, his footwork was on that Katie bro. That's all I could think. Like Zion comes to mind because he dunked so aggressively and was so athletic for that size, but he literally has like that quick step but build with Carmelo Anthony. Like, you don't expect a guy that size to have that type of quickness, burst, first step. Like, I just felt like the game was robbed. So, super random, again, I know, but watching Jabari Parker is like, dude, and then knowing a lot of my friends that are Michigan State fans, at one point, it was all but thought of to be a done deal that he was actually going to go to Michigan State. But Duke came in, I guess, at the last second, and he ended up committing and playing with Duke. So, there's a lot of pain there, depending on who you talk to. But, yeah, shout out to Jabari Parker.
That's the same shit that happened to Devin Booker. Yeah, he was supposed to go to Michigan State, and then Kentucky came in and swooped him up. So,
bro, how do you not get Devin Booker as Michigan State, and this motherfucker is in your, like, hey, shout out to Michigan State, I guess.
All right.
The last thing I have is YouTuber named RBT went back and played Madden 2005. Man,
jeez.
Guys, all jokes aside, like watching Madden 2005 and 2025. Madden 2005 was right up there with 2K5 football, or 2K football. Like, bro, the shit that you could do back then, like, and what I've just played this past year, it's like, how does a game take that many steps back? Like, who came into these meeting rooms like, hey, you know what we should remove from the game? All these classic drills and all this customization that you used to have. Like, bro, I'm watching, I'm like, why was this ever taken away? Like, you could customize a fan. Like, randomly, like, random shit. You could customize all this stuff with your franchise. You could customize so much stuff with your jerseys. Like, you could put tattoos on players. You still, in 2025, can't put a tattoo on a player. Like, I'm like, bro, like, who got fired? Like, who had to take pay cuts for that? Like, you know what? I'm giving bare minimum from this point on. Like, so that was fun to watch that. But, man, I will say, I am excited. I think we talked about it. It was really cool to talk about video games the last time we recorded. But seeing all the new stuff come out with Madden and NCAA, like, I'm just really excited to play those games and see what they really did. I feel like they did more, it feels like, just watching the videos with Madden than they did with NCAA. I think the big thing with NCAA is the coaches.
They don't need to do too much to NCAA.
Right. So, and that's why I'm not too disappointed because, again, I see the coaches They added a lot with the playbooks, having coaches and stuff like that. So I think they more so tweaked NCAA versus Madden. It feels like a major overhaul.
Yeah.
And it's seeing how much, of the overhaul is like actually going to respond to things that the fans been asking for. So
I really like with NCAA they did the you can do double motion. That's fire.
Yeah.
And add it to the playbook. Because, like, I think that's what was bothering me with NCAA is you'll run out of options. Like, you'll have to keep using the same plays over and over again. And, like, that fucks with creativity. But other than that, like, I'm happy with them just tweaking NCAA because it was already a really good game. So.
That Road to Glory mode was kind of bare bones, though.
How do you not have high school food and knowing unless you decide to pivot to Madden afterwards, you only gonna have 4 years. Like, that's not. People know part of the main thing that people love with NCAA is the fact that you have to put so much time into it. It's like, I don't know.
Hey, listen, those 4 years was hard for me. I don't know about y'all. It took me all the way to my senior year to win a Heisman. I was like,
you basically you was choosing. So if you really wanted to grind in that game, you wasn't gonna get on that fucking field until senior year if you just started being a low level star. So if you started off good, you still I don't know. To take away high school, it took away a big part of development, which I think is the biggest thing when it comes to NCAA. Like, you wanna nurture something, you wanna grow something. So
Well, the shit too, you win an award, it just flashes across the screen. You won the Heisman. All right, next on to the next season, just like that, just within 3 clicks.
I saw a whole NCAA game where they had a whole ESPN presentation for award shows.
They don't even have a cutscene or anything showing you accepting the award. That would have been worth it.
Y'all can see I'm not adding much feedback because I didn't ever win an award. I never played long enough to see any. I didn't finish a season.
You finished at a 76 overall,
bro. I never finished a season. I ended up going to the. Dynasty mode, that was what I did.
Playing with friends in Dynasty was the best part of that game.
Yeah, I look forward to that though. But that's all that I've watched, guys. What have y'all been watching?
Hey, I've been all over Love Island, all over it. I'm so fucking locked in, dog. All right, and NBA playoffs.
Can you watch the full season already, or
Love
they
Island?
release it in? Huh?
No, it comes out every day. So the only day it doesn't have an episode is on Saturdays. So
I didn't know that was a daily show. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, it's a daily show. So it's 6 weeks. So it's it ends up being, I want to say 37 episodes or something, 38 episodes, something like that. I don't know, but yeah, we be having watch parties and shit. Me and Kier, and whoever else watch Love Island with us because it's lit. I've been trying to get Drew and Mariah to lock in.
I will.
Cause then and B, since you already watching it, now you gotta catch up, baby. So when we have our watch parties at the crib and we can all it's like a sporting event. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep watching one episode and woke up and it was completely new characters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Wait, is this the same fucking show? I have not been asleep for that. I'm not gonna drive. Part of that made me not want to keep up because I'm if this shit changes,
because you're what the fuck just happened here, right? Then it be people, right? Then it be people, it be connections. You be oh yeah, okay, yeah, they're a good couple. 2 episodes later, they beefed out. You who?
Bro, literally, the rodeo dude and the dark skin chick. I woke up and they yelling at each other. I'm like, what did I miss? Then it's a random dude on the couch talking about, I'm looking for love. I'm like, who is this nigga? Oh, yeah, nah, maybe this is my sign. I don't need to be involved with these shows.
It's crazy that it's daily, too.
Yeah. I know, bro, I already saw how much that show could change. Because literally, I fell asleep to 2 people being in love and woke up and they was not want to be next to each other and talking about how they ain't really give it they all. I'm like, nah, this
man.
Whew.
And then it was crazy, not spoiler alert for anybody who didn't watch. So America gets to vote on because the girl that Brandon likes, Huda, she was in a couple with this dude named Jeremiah, but they kind of locked in too fast. From day one, they was like in love and fucking and all of that. Like, and everybody was like, that's not what the show is. The show is, if y'all in love like that, y'all can leave. Y'all don't have to stay here for this vacation. Y'all can just be like, yeah, we found each other, we're out. But no, y'all can't say y'all open, and then when new people come into the house, y'all ain't talking to nobody. Y'all like giving them the cold shoulder and shit like that. That's not what the show is. So the Love Island, it's an app. They gave us the fans, America can vote and say like which couple you want to see like broken American up.
Idol.
Damn.
Yeah, kind of. And so we broke them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and put them in different couples. And Huda had the crash out of 2025, boy. She lost her goddamn mind, boy.
For real?
Yes, crashed the fuck out, bro. Like, so
I could see a little bit of crazy. See, that's damn.
Yeah,
I always wanted to get my heart the most, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so like it's shit like that happens, and then it's another vote tonight. They gave us a vote. Well, we got to vote Friday night. They gave us a vote to who's your favorite male and who's your favorite female. So we don't know what's gonna happen as far as the couples, but something's gonna happen tonight where that vote is gonna shake up the house. So yeah, like shit like that. Like it's like Big Brother, but it's also like a dating show. But also like, you know, it's daily. They in the house. They 24 hours. The cameras is on them. So
damn.
Yeah, it's a really dope show. Like you even see it on social media, dudes like getting excited about watching Love Island and shit like that with their girlfriends, and like it's a fun time. And so if I wasn't watching that, then I'm watching the NBA Finals or The Shy. So that's it.
I was gonna say I do miss those times, Gerard. Like that was the best part of Insecure.
Yeah,
it was like a show that both guys and women could pick their character, root for, see who they like, you know, chose that side. So like to be on Twitter during those times, everybody was talking. Somehow you was able to talk about it and also enjoy it without spoiling sometimes. So it's almost like watching award shows back in the day. But I do miss that. But before I go further, you mentioned the finals. I want to give Drew a chance. What have y'all been watching, man?
Below Deck. That's all we've been watching. And that's why I haven't watched Love Island yet, Gerard. I'm sorry. It's just Below Deck, to me, might be my favorite reality show of all time. It's got everything I want.
Fire, bro.
It's got everything I want, man. It's just... And then I've been on the hunt this week to watch that old movie 28 Days Later because the new one's coming out. And I really want to catch up and remember them. So last night, I rented it finally, and we started watching it. An hour in, I was like, damn, this movie is actually really good for coming out in 2002. So then we want to watch 28 Weeks Later, and now the new one coming out is 28 years later. So just a good little thing they got going. I don't remember 28 Weeks Later, so that's going to be brand new to me when I see it. But the first one still holds up for an old kind of horror movie. And,
I was going to ask, I'm like, isn't that a horror movie? That's pretty dope.
It's like it's pretty much like monkeys that were tested on, and they broke out of a lab and got people infected, and then the whole town got infected pretty much. And when they get infected, their eyes turn red and they turn like rage pretty much. So they're pretty much like World War Z zombies. Those crazy, like super fast, running all the time.
That's the scariest zombie movie I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm not even playing. Like I don't see how people get entertained by it. Like if that shit ever went down,
be done.
Come on, bro. Like, nah.
There was I was fucking around with Mariah last night, and you know, a little blowed. I was just like, you know, there's a little part of me that wishes something like this would happen one day, just to see how long I can last.
Drew, you speaking of something I want to put.
Life's a game,
People
Gerard.
that watch that shit, I'm convinced. Like, there's a small part of y'all that hope some shit like that go down.
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch that shit. I don't support that shit. I don't want nothing to do with nothing. Bro, you
gotta prepare yourself. I feel part of you gotta get prepared. Like, all right, y'all giving me weapons, so like to understand if this shit happen, I know how.
We can joke about it now, but COVID showed me how motherfuckers don't care about the person next to them. When it comes to shit like toilet paper, nah.
Yeah.
But that shit ain't gonna be as beautiful and jolly as people like to expect.
Oh, it's gonna be
COVID told me everything I need to know. Yeah. And Black Friday, nah. Motherfuckers don't care about nobody next to each other. Nah, motherfuckers be scandalous out here.
So yeah, I'm actually really excited for the new one coming out because it looks. I mean, 28 years later, after an apocalypse like that, there's a lot of ground that they can cover in that. So I'm very curious. I'll give you guys updates tonight. We haven't finished the first one. We're probably going to finish it tonight and then start the second movie. So, yeah, dude. If that shit happened, though, be those kind of zombies, we're all fucked. It doesn't matter how well you prepare. You get
World War Z's not like nobody should have made it out that movie. If we're being honest, like when the way the motherfuckers jump on top of each other to get that,
climb a wall, like that's insane.
Nah, we would never make it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all we've been watching, and I've just been gaming heavy, but
same.
Yeah.
So speaking of games, I mentioned in the finals.
Oh, actually, real quick. Sorry, I forgot too. I bought a PS3 this week. I was just, I don't know why. I was like, you know what? There's these two old games. Yeah, the infamous games from back in the day. It's like where the guys electricity powers. I've been wanting to play those because like I beat them back in the day, but I never platinumed them 100% of them.
You can't. You can't get that on the 5.
No, you have to. It's so weird. You have to subscribe and get like a deluxe like PlayStation Plus package, pretty much. And I don't feel like spending $74 every few months for that upgraded package. So I bought a PS3 and the games. It was like $80-something altogether. I'm like, shit.
I was about to ask, how much does a PS3 go for?
PS3s really aren't that expensive. They're one of the cheaper like older consoles right now. So I got that, started playing it, and I was like, wow, these graphics are super dated. I didn't realize, back in the day, it was one of the best graphics I've ever seen for a game. And now looking at it, how far we've come, it's incredible.
Yeah,
that's pretty vintage of you, Drew. I'm very inspired right now.
I'm not gonna go out and start buying like a Sega or like an old Nintendo or something.
You might.
You
might. Right. You might.
There's people that make content on Instagram and TikTok. There's one dude that plays, I think, an N64 in every state of America. Like, he literally just goes from state to state, plugs up the game system, takes, like, a beautiful picture, and goes on to the next state. It's really dope.
I do get jealous when I see people of their setups, and they have, like, 64 shelf slots, and they have every single console ever released, like the PS2, PS2 Slim, PS2, black, gray, red, whatever it is. Like, I'm jealous when I see shit like that because that's pretty cool. You can just plug in whenever and play any game you can think of. But the market for old games is crazy right now, like how expensive they all are.
Yeah, so,
it's an expensive hobby.
It is, actually. And gaming itself, I'm pretty sure games are about to be $79 versus $69. So
depending, I mean, it's all. I've listened to a few things about it. It all depends on the studio, which they want to release it at, because they can release it whatever price they want. So there's been a couple new games that have come out that have only been $50. Like the new Mafia game coming out is $50.
Really?
And I feel like that's a steal for this day and age when everything's $60, $70.
That's so crazy to me because I do feel like I've heard rumors that GTA will be like damn near $100, which
they can get away with it.
They can get away with it, and like you'll definitely get your money's worth. But at the same time, it's like that's the same. They're under the same umbrella as like 2K. Like so, like how they'll release Mafia at $50, but I'm sure releasing a game later at $100 is just I don't know. It's the same company.
It's a stepping stone starting it at $80. And Nintendo doesn't budge at all when it comes to their prices. You get one of the games, a Zelda game that came out in 2016, like with the console, still $60. Like they are the greediest people I've ever seen in the gaming industry.
That is actually wild.
GTA 6, I can justify paying $100 because as much as they give you so much free stuff, like in that time, like free DLC, free updates, free gear, free cars. Like you get your money's worth at the end.
It makes sense for GTA, but some of these other games, I can't see myself paying for that.
Yeah, if 2K does those packages where they're like 100, 120 or something with the My Team bonuses and stuff like that, but I can't justify paying 80, 90 if that's going to be the way it goes. I can personally wait 2 or 3 years before it's free on like monthly games or whatever.
So,
there's so much shit to play right now.
It's a good problem to have. Yeah. I love it. But no, I want to make sure we definitely speak to so far with Game 7 coming up. It's actually the first Game 7 I think they said since 2016. I know LeBron was in it. I'm just curious how you guys feel overall about the series and what your expectations are for Game 7. And I do know I teased the question of both of you guys the last time we recorded. I feel like this is a great time to talk about it because a couple legacies, it can go a few different ways based on how they perform in Game 7. So I just want to know, Gerard, I'll start with you. How do you feel overall when it comes to the series, and what are your expectations for Game 7?
So I'm thoroughly enjoying the series. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. Like, it's two small, market teams, Indiana and Oklahoma City, going against each other with really good teams, and I didn't know that Indiana was going to play OKC the way that they did. Mm-hmm. But the game is all about matchups, and Indiana really was only the one team during the regular season that matched up well with OKC. So I see how it's going 7. So honestly, if OKC should have won Game 6, they're going to be at home in Game 7, but I think that Indiana has the momentum going to Game 7, so I can see the Pacers winning Game 7 tonight. Because I thought that OKC would have wrapped it up, and they didn't. So, this is going to be a hard-fought game, and I can see them coming home with the victory. So, unless, Shea pulls something out of his ass, I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, I got Indiana winning Game 7.
Thank you for that. Drew, I'm curious. Same questions. What have you thought so far of the series, and what are your expectations for the game tonight?
Two things I'll nitpick at, and me, Bones, and Dre have been talking about it, is just the pacing of scheduling with these games. Like, last night would have been a perfect night for Game 7. Everybody's off. Tomorrow people got to kind of rest up a little bit to go back to work. But, you treat it like a Super Bowl at this point. But it's dope to see a Game 7. I need Halliburton to be consistent because he has been the one that's been a little iffy when it comes to finals performance. That 2-point game was absolutely insane. I know he got hurt in the game and was limping a little bit, but he showed up Game 6, which helped out. Spicy P needs to keep being consistent. Like Gerard said with SGA, I mean, what's he going to pull out of his ass? Just go off from 3 this game or something he's not really that strong at? Or is he going to pull out a 45-point mid-range game? Who knows? Right. So I just like that it went to Game 7. I like that it's two smaller teams. I like that both teams are seeking their first championship as a franchise. I think that's absolutely incredible. I do want to see the Pacers win it, though, and I've kind of been on their wagon since they beat Cleveland and the Pistons went out. So I like keeping it in the East.
Oh, you guys both have offered some interesting perspectives. You made me think of a few questions myself. I will say, mentioning the small markets, I feel like that's probably been the most annoying thing for this finals, the way that gets overblown. It's like the finals demand some big market team, and it's like, no. Big market teams, they are going to have, I guess, an advantage for sure. People get attracted to certain cities, but, both of these teams play excellent defense. Mm-hmm. You can tell they're well coached. The games, for the most part, there have been blowouts, but, this has been one of the most entertaining finals, not just, in the last couple of seasons, but just in general. Every game you turn on, it can literally go either way. Even during some of the most historic finals, some teams really didn't have a chance. They just played hard, right? Even with the Dynasty Lakers, they made it to the finals, but the other team, everybody knew, the 76ers didn't have a real chance. So we keep talking about these big market teams, but, no, we don't. There's not a requirement for the finals to be entertaining. You need some big market team to be in there. You don't. I think this has been very entertaining. And I wanted to ask you guys, when it comes to Drew, you made a good point. When it comes to Halliburton, a lot of people feel like I'm a hater, and I feel like I'm not a hater at all. I've gotten a lot of respect for Halliburton's game. Gerard has always been telling me he's a player, he's elite. My thing is, I feel like we just overuse the title superstar in general. And I feel like that gets disrespectful to those players that reach that level that may not. So when it comes to Halliburton, right? There's certain games where the Pacers can make their run even when Halliburton may be on the bench. I'm not going to say he's not one of the best players. I don't know. I mean, shit, is he the best player for the Pacers? Because the way Spicy P has been playing, it's like, depending on the night, it could be either one. And it's not to take anything away from Halliburton. My thing is, we watch Cade Cunningham every night for the Pistons, right? Damn near had to average a triple-double. And not to say that has to be the case, but, like, SGA, for instance, like, he can't take a game off and the team, like, still pull off a victory. And I feel like when you're a superstar, like, you have to bring it every night, and you can't necessarily show up every 2 games or every 3, right? So, like, somebody actually brought it to me, and it was posed to me as, did you view Chris Paul as a superstar back in the day? And I think we've actually kind of talked about the similarities between them. And it's like, I don't know if I did, but I know I didn't necessarily view Chris Paul in the same light that I viewed a LeBron or I viewed a Kobe. And it's not even when it comes to scoring. It's like, we've seen certain stretches of the series where SGA didn't matter who the fuck was guarding him, whether you thought he was foul baiting or not, like, he could take over a game. We've seen Halliburton be able to do that, but it's more so been in previous series. So I wanted to ask both of you, I've kind of teased it last week. Do you guys feel like Halliburton is truly a superstar? And I'll just leave it at that. Gerard, do you feel like that Tyrese Halliburton is truly a superstar? I guess I'll ask a follow-up question once you answer that.
So superstar is an interesting title because it encompasses more than just what you do on the court, right? It's your marketability, how you relate to the whole world outside of just the NBA, like. And so I think Halliburton is a star. I don't think he's a superstar because on court there's not a extreme focus on him. So that's why I don't think he's a superstar. Like, as far as, like, his skill set, but he is very marketable. So he's gonna, like, if you're looking for a face of the league, you could use Tyrese Halliburton. Like, so that's why I think people are, like, you know, misconstruing the two because you see him as a face of the league, but as a superstar, like, as far as on court, like, I don't think he's a superstar. But I love his game, and I think the comparison between him and Chris Paul is correct because he's a point guard. He's a true point guard. He's not Steph Curry. He's not Dame Lillard. He's not Trae Young. Like, he's a true point guard. So a lot of on the stat sheet, you're not going to see 30 and 15. You're not going to see that from him. But if he's knocked off the court, like you saw in the game that they lost, Game 5, when he had 2 points, it fucks up the offense, regardless if you got TJ in there or not. Like, it fucks up the offense. It fucks up the game plan if he's not on the court. And he's a tremendous defender that people don't give him credit for as well. So, yeah, I think he's a star, but I don't think he's a superstar for sure.
I think he has flashes of being a superstar, and he can. I think, honestly, it's just the pressure of the finals right now. That's kind of weighing on him. It's a lot. I mean, one thing I love about the finals is just seeing how closely every single player on the court's guarded, and I feel like he's finally feeling that right now. Like, you know, you do have to show him some attention because he can hit a deep three as nasty as a shot is, but he shows those flashes. I don't want to blame that injury because it wasn't that bad. I don't know how it felt, but it didn't look that bad. And for him to come back and play Game 6 and have a solid game, you know, he should be able to consistently, I'd say, put up 20 and 10. And when he doesn't, you were like, damn, is this guy really that good? Or is it kind of fool's gold? And then, you know, what we saw last series against the Knicks, he's hitting all these clutch shots to just cap the game. You look at the stat sheet, it's like, oh, he only finished with 12 points. You would have thought he was taking over the whole game. So he's kind of a weird. He's a weird star, I'd say, but I feel like he can be a superstar as time goes on in the league. The one guy I wanted to talk about too, who I feel like could be a superstar, but is just way too young right now, is Chet. Like, he shows so many flashes of being one of the best centers in the league, and I think he will be in the next few years, but, like, bro, this is his second year, his first full year in the NBA, and he's in the finals already? Like, there's so much pressure behind that, and you have to rely on SGA. You have to rely on Jalen Williams as your second, and I just feel like that's a lot of pressure on Chet in a second year in the NBA. So as far as the Pacers go, I love seeing unsung heroes like TJ McConnell stepping up and getting 17 points a game. I think that's incredible. Guys do that. Talk about nasty shots. he takes like 20 seconds to hit a jump shot or something.
Right. Like, boy, that build up.
Gerard, he has to make sure no one's around at least 10 feet in his radius to just.
But isn't that crazy though? Because his mid range is completely different.
Incredible,
like,
yeah.
Quick trigger, perfect.
He hangs
form,
in the air when he shoots it too.
Beautiful to watch, and then he shoots a
that 3-point shot, boy.
Disgusting.
He take the whole shot clock to get it off, right?
But when he hits it, he splashes it. That's the other thing.
And I was just talking with my boys the other day, like the funny thing watching a guy like TJ McConnell take over a game like that. Is in general, you watch UFC guys watching, the games, and they'll be like, "Oh, TJ McConnell, man, he ain't that good." But at the same time, TJ McConnell can walk into any gym,
and bust your ass
anywhere in the world, and will bust everybody ass in there and walk out, and it's like
with such a basic game too. Yeah,
just the way we take for granted, like how good these guys are. And then we talk about Brian Scalabrine when he had that challenge and was just whooping everybody's ass. And was
whooping
like,
ass, yeah.
I'm closer to the MJs, LeBrons, than y'all are to me. And it's like you watch, bro, TJ McConnell has damn near impacted or contributed directly to like 2 of the wins that the Pacers have. Like, bro, there's certain times, like I said, I talked about SGA, but there's been times where TJ has done that. Yeah. And I feel like most people are waiting for that moment to come from Tyrese Halliburton. I feel like, Gerard, you put it best. And that's how I respond to people. I'm saying, he has the gold medal. He's made it to the finals. Like, he has a really good resume, and I do think he's a star. And, Drew, to your point, I do think he can look like a superstar depending on the moment, depending on the game. But the reason I feel like superstar is used too loosely is because superstars don't have the luxury, like I said, to be inconsistent, bro. Like,
that's true.
Every game, they may have an off game every now and then, but when I think of superstar, I'm thinking, who's the guy on the court that the team is focusing on? Hey, we have to stop this guy because he's the guy. Like,
right.
They know, like we saw with before this finals with Ant. Like, Ant is a superstar, and OKC knew, hey, we have to get the ball out his hands. We have the game plan to stop him because Minnesota's not winning shit if he don't have 30 points. Like,
right.
And I know it's unfair. It's like, damn, everybody like we said, Halliburton's a traditional point guard, so he doesn't necessarily need 30 for us to have oohs and 20 and 10 is really all that he needs to do. Yeah. But, like, it can't be every third game we're getting 20 and 10, then we're getting 2 points. Like, It was so bad the other day. It's like, okay, how bad is he hurt? And if he is hurt that bad, hey, he shouldn't be on the court because there are solid guards that could give this team a chance. And it's like, if he is on the court and he's at a disadvantage, like, he's not helping the team. And I feel like the biggest thing with Halliburton is his aggression, just pushing the pace. If it's not scoring, like there's been times where he's been out early in the games. I think game 3 and 4 maybe. Where it's like, bro, like you're not even trying to be aggressive till it's the fourth quarter, and it's damn near too late. And I understand they've gotten comebacks before, but again, you don't want to rely on that because like when you get to a point where you're relying on that, at some point you're gonna just run out of gas, bro. Like. Right. It's too much to consistently do that, especially against a team like OKC that can go 10 deep, right? Yeah. Like, so I actually expected this to be a sweep, 5 games at most. So the fact that it's even gone to 7, I'd again have to give kudos to the Pacers.
It's just a treat for the fans to go to Game 7.
Right, like it's been a great series. I think it's been really great basketball at certain times. Drew, you mentioned Chet. I do have to, again, if I'm going to call Halliburton out or question if he's a star, Chet has looked completely mismatched at certain times. He really needs to get on that Giannis bulk plan this offseason. Like,
I think he's learning that, though. I mean, the physicality in the finals is a whole other level.
Like, that's the thing. Like, you talked about guys, being able to make contested shots. Like, you can be a great three-point shooter, but if you're not able to make shots when guys are up on you a little tighter in the playoffs, what does that really mean to your legacy, right?
So look at how comfortable Spicy P is. Like every single game he goes in, he's confident with every shot, every back down, every defensive hustle. Like to see a guy like that making a transition steal and then going coast to coast, like it's pretty impressive because you don't expect it from a guy like that.
You know what's cool about Pascal, though? The fact that you can tell the shit that he's doing in these games is what he's clearly working on in the offseason.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, I feel like we kind of discredit the fact that there's certain guys that don't necessarily have a Kyrie bag. Pascal ain't going to do no moves out there that's going to blow you away. when it comes to dribbling. But at the same time, again, he gets to the spot. He gets to his post where he likes the ball in the post. Like, he's going to give his best effort on defense. Like, like you said, hit a 3 here and there. But he's not out there trying or change his game, trying to do some shit that he's never done before. Like, a lot of guys get into these high-pressure moments, and then all of a sudden you be like, why is he not, like, playing like himself? Again, those reps. You can tell who's putting in the work in the offseason and who's confident when it matters most. So that's what I respect about Pascal Siakam more than anything. Yeah. Like, you can tell he sticks to what makes him that player, and he just brings it every night. Like,
beautiful back down, like, post jumper too. He's really good. He's perfected that,
bro. And like, you could tell, like, he'll add something to his game, but it's not something too much. It's like another counter, or it's like, you know, another mid-range move. Where if this is covered, like, a lot of guys just don't even know how to train like that anymore.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. I wanted to really point that out. But I have to give credit to some of the. We mentioned T.J. McConnell, but we didn't mention Naismith, and we didn't mention Nembhard. I feel like truly, if he was on another team and was like, he is literally high-level starter material, bro, you can even see SGA, like, when covered by him, like, the dude's been doing it all playoffs long. He's the unsung hero. Like, you talked about looking at the game the other day and seeing Halliburton had, 12 and 5? Yeah. Nembhard had 20? I think at least 24. And bro, like, he was right there stats wise. And again, like, I'm just like, wow, I'm impressed by the way that the Pacers have built that team. Like,
they move really well together on the court when they're not turning it over. I gotta put that out there because they have some horrid turnovers.
But you don't see, like, you can tell they're a great team because you can tell, like, Carlisle don't ever have to come out and tell them guys to move the ball. Like, they take pride and they have fun in getting the best shot possible consistently, which is why they are so hard to guard. OKC,
exactly.
It's hard.
To your point. It's
easier to
2
guard
point
them,
guards with them. It's 2 point guards on the court, and it just happens that Halliburton is 6'7", so like that's the difference. But those two on the court at the same time is very difficult to defend. Like that's super fire.
Like the ball is moving. You can see guys are excited because it ain't just 3 guys that know, hey, the ball most likely ain't coming to me, which is the case in OKC. You got to watch SGA dribble the ball. You got to watch Jalen dribble the ball. And like you say, even Chet, Drew, like, I'm watching certain games. It's like, damn, like, you don't even see Chet getting the ball in the post every 3-4 plays. Like, Chet damn near had to get his looks, like, every 5 or 6 possessions. So, like, you can't get in a rhythm like that. It's going to be harder. So, but I will say you got guys that come off the bench like Wallace. It's another guy that's
Wiggins.
Bro, Wiggins coming off just splashing threes. Like, so both teams are loaded. You got guys like Lou Dort who kind of take a step back.
Caruso, too.
Caruso had a booster last game. So, like, a lot of times you expect those road guys to play better at home, which is why my personal prediction is OKC. But I'm not going to lie. OKC has definitely not been – they've not been finishing their food this series, bro. Like, it shouldn't have went to 7 games. But, again, I'm not going to take anything away from the Pacers.
Right.
I just would like to see OKC it is hard, bro, for one guy to come out there and basically play iso ball and beat a team that can come down, move the ball, and hit a 3. Like, that's why it's so hard to beat the Pacers, bro. You can have them down by 15, 20 points.
Yep.
It's still going to play you just as hard for every quarter, and they still going to hit threes to where you can never let up. And it's like OKC does have when, you know, Caruso's not scoring like he was at one point and Shea goes to the bench. If Jalen Williams ain't giving you 30 points, it's going to get ugly. So I said all that to say I still do expect OKC to win, but, man, I think it'll be a great game. Like, it's so many things you have to worry about with that Pacers team, man. And everybody damn near but the backup center can shoot. Like, bro, the starting center is going to shoot 5 threes a game. If Miles Turner was more aggressive and more consistent, like, this series could have got ugly, bro. Like, so I'll leave it at that. But was there anything else you guys wanted to add or mention when it came to Game 7 or anything else additional that we haven't discussed?
No, I expect I think it's gonna be a little. I think they're gonna be a little tight coming out. Pause. When the game start, because it's a lot.
That was a long pause. A long pause, Drive.
I had to give it the space. Pause. Like so. because it's a game.
When I say OKC can go 10 deep earlier, I'm like, hey, I'm glad they didn't say nothing about that. I'm like, that could have went
right over my
head.
No, but it's game 7s are difficult. So like I think people just think like it's amazing for fans to watch, but if it's one game winner take all, like that shit is difficult. So the players they gonna be coming out forcing shit like because sometimes you want to get that shit out the way. Like, hey, you need to go out, we need to blast them, get up by 20. Like so,
bro,
like,
you cannot come out in a game 7 and expect to be able to turn it on in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So I would actually come out trying to be aggressive in the first, and then most likely, depending on how that game is going, you're not going to be getting that rest that you would get.
Hell no, right?
And then, especially in the fourth quarter, you may get a little bit in the third. So that if you got to take them dumbass shots, you better take them early.
Because we remember
getting the ball in a high pressure situation.
Because we remember when the Cavs and the Warriors played Game 7, people forget it was like 5 minutes. Everybody was missing shots.
If it wasn't for Kyrie, Brian, like
they probably still be playing now. So,
they was tired, bro. Like Game 7, the conditioning those athletes have to have, bro. Like another league, man. But again, we all talked about, we talked about injuries and we talked about things being certain, too tight, pause. But there's an injury we have not discussed that always happens in these big games, man. You always have those tight sphincters, man. Hey, you gonna see some dudes show up, and you gonna see some dudes. The light's just a little too bright, Gerard. Hey, the sphincters get a little tighter when them big moments. Hey, some dudes don't know how to handle. That's all I'm gonna say. So we gonna see who clutch, and we gonna see who not. But I look forward to it, and that's what sports is, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what sport. Who is gonna be the guy to show up? So
I hope it's one of those games that's back and forth, that it's only like a 2-point difference the whole game, because we haven't really gotten a true game like that in this finals yet. And those games are intense. But then I'm thinking this series has been so much better than you think about last year, that Boston and Mavs series that was over in 3 games pretty much.
Yeah.
This has been so much better than that.
The Mavericks team just wasn't that good, so that became apparent. But no, I feel like OKC and the Pacers are pretty evenly matched outside of, OKC just has that bona fide MVP superstar. And I think that's the thing. If you're saying superstar, I look at Shea like that. Even Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams is outstanding and has really made me a believer. But I'm not going to say that he isn't still inconsistent at times, which is why, again, Jalen Williams looks like a star, but I would never I feel like we try to build certain players up just so we can slander them later. If you call Halliburton a star, and then like you said, he comes out and gives you 2 points, 15 points, it's like, oh, he's trash. And it's like, no, he's a star. Star players can have inconsistency more than that superstar level. So that's how I look at it. And he could very well become a superstar, but I just don't think he's there yet. But again, he's young, and the Pacers were never supposed to be at the NBA Finals. So,
nope.
They're winning even if they do ultimately lose this Game 7. So, I personally do hope they lose, Drew, because like you said, you want to see us stay in the East. I don't want to see no Eastern team win if it ain't the Pistons. So, if it's OKC, I could feel better about it, but the scary thing...
Rick Carlisle's always been a favorite of mine, especially back in the day here when he coached the Pistons. So seeing him
another stamp coach that's very solid. Yeah. And as we see coaches get done wrong more than they should, we should give kudos to a guy like Rick Carlisle. But the scary thing about OKC still, that was pointed out to me the other day, they did have a lottery pick that essentially hasn't played and has been on IR all year. I think his name is Nikola, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice guard. Was considered one of the top guys in his class at one point for the injury. Have a lot of cap space still. Have a lot of draft picks still. Yeah. So, this young team that's already loaded can very well get much better. So I look forward to seeing how they continue to develop. But if they even can keep that team together. Because like you said, Drew, Chet should command a high deal. And then Jalen Williams, the same thing. So...
Listen, their front office is the best front office in the NBA. I'm not worried about them. Yeah, so
hey, I agree. I will say though that the way that the apron is now, the second apron, And seeing a team even like Boston, you know, may have rumors that with the deals that they gave to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, can they keep the, you know, remaining pieces together, or do they look at trading one? But I mean, SGA got the max deal, and Chet and Jalen Williams are going to be right there. So I'm not worried either, but hey, you never know.
The only other thing I wanted to say real quick, how crazy was it with 7 minutes left on the third that Thunder only had 42 points? Like, I haven't seen that in years, man.
Bro, that took me right back to them good old Pistons days, man.
The 78-72 final score.
In the fourth quarter, it's 72-74. That motherfucker is grinding to get some points. Nah, I love that, man.
That was crazy to see.
But no, is there anything else y'all want to discuss or
talk about? Nice easy pod this week. I like that.
Yeah. Nice, easy, you know, like Sunday morning, man.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Like that. Oh, all right.
Go Pacers, I guess.
It's been another episode of Two Hip Hop Senseis and the Casual. Until the next time, man. Y'all be easy.
What?
Take care.
Y'all niggas stupid.